Hello Reformers and welcome back to Warsword Conquest, and we have Slythe here once again with a siege against the vampires. Now bear in mind that I have attempted to call for a campaign with our vassals, and unfortunately it doesn't look as though they're willing to come over here, which is a bit disappointing, suffice it to say, and well, we are gonna just have to do this ourselves. I've already taken the other keep that we were attempting to take in the previous episode because, well, let's face it, there was only about 70 remaining. It took literally about 15 seconds with all of these poisoned wind globadiers and warplock engineers firing away at the same time. It's just utter insanity, really, to see that. Anyway, I've actually found out something rather amazing about some of the other factions' units, because obviously in this series we've really only explored very few options when it comes to unit variety, shall we say. And the other factions' units that I'm talking about here are Chaos Dwarves. Chaos Dwarves I would not have expected to have anything like really good, you know, like super, you know, impressive kind of thing going on, but they do. And I believe that I think someone actually mentioned this particular unit in the comments. But anyway, this is a Chaos Dwarf Inferno, as far as I'm aware. I think it's called an Inferno or something like that. And well, I was doing a field battle against, I believe, a small vampire vassal. I think he only had about 70 or 80 units, and well, this Inferno was in the firing line with our engineers, and well, let me just say, it is crazy. It's really, really crazy what they're able to do. I mean, the Annihilators, yeah, they're one thing, but well, the Infernos are so good. Oh yes, they are extremely fun to watch because they come with these things called Inferno Cannons, and well, you can kind of guess what this thing does. It shoots explosive rounds of some kind. They only have 5 of them. They only have 5 shots, so obviously that's the balance there, but the few shots that they did get off, the first shot that they took out about, I don't even know, 10 to 15 units in one hit, so that is kind of amazing. And in comparison, the Poisoned Wind Globadiers, they come with about 15, I think. They come with 15 globes, and each of those has about 10 damage on it. So far, I feel like we're doing okay, though, without too many of our very expensive units being eliminated. I'm just very hopeful that we'll be able to get rid of these units on the wall here. Hopefully they will be able to get cleared out, and then we'll be able to spread out a little bit, because once we are able to spread out, we're going to be in a much better position. Unfortunately, it appears that the Blood Knights and the Hell Knights and everything at the bottleneck are making things very, very difficult for us. I'm going to get out my pistol and see if I can do a little bit of extra damage here. We're taking out a couple of ghosts and wraiths and everything, and if I can maybe take out a couple more, then that would be kind of nice. There we go, there's another ghost down, and there's a white champion that we took out, very nice. And let's see. Oh, yes, one of our warplock engineers has actually got inside, fantastic. Hopefully he's not going to die too quickly, and it seems like we are starting to push inward. Because, I mean, there's only about 200 units here, so as long as we are able to push inside and get our people spread out along the walls, we will be in a much better situation. And oh, hello there. It's pretty easy shots to make right here. And as long as we can thin them out, you know, even just a little bit, that's obviously going to make a big difference. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to show you how effective those Chaos Dwarf Infernos actually are, because they are amazing to watch. And I thought to myself, whoa, what is that? What is that? I'm sure, you know, someone mentioned this particular unit in the comments when I saw it happen, so pretty cool. Otherwise, I believe this is the second last fief that the vampires have under their control, unless they have taken something back by this point. I'm not entirely sure. I've been prepared to eliminate them for some time, so hopefully we will be in time to actually be able to do that, because I'm not entirely sure if they have taken anything else. Joseph is doing a great job, though. Do you see that? He's getting so many kills. Okay, so there's only 22 enemies remaining. Most of them are sharpshooters, unfortunately. So they are going to be quite deadly to our engineers and globadiers, so hopefully they're not going to just charge in randomly and get themselves all murdered. Hopefully they're going to allow a storm vermin or something to go first. And even if they were to take a couple of casualties, it wouldn't be all bad, would it? I hope not, at least. Now, I think some of our engineers still do have a little bit of ammunition, or at least I hope that that will be the case. Otherwise, we have lost 21 units. That's not even that bad. By the way, I did do a little bit of remodeling as well, and that basically just means that I put the goblins and all the other miscellaneous races into the garrison at Karak-Hern, and I took out all of the Skaven units, and I'm gonna be slicing this skeleton in two, even though it doesn't you can't really slice a skeleton, can you? Not really. So let me see if I can just avoid his attack. There we go, and he is done. Very nice indeed. And I do have a ball and chain as well. You don't really slice with a ball and chain, do you? No, not really. Anyway, there you go. 7 renown for us right there. Did I lose any Infernos, by the way, in that? No, it seems like maybe the Infernos did not even spawn. That's the reason why we didn't see them get any kills, perhaps. But there you go. 206 enemies eliminated. And as I said, I have called for a campaign, but none of my vassals are turning up. So all of these units here, most of them are going to go to waste, which is an absolute atrocity. It really is. I mean, I much would have preferred some people to come along here, but the moment I actually stopped besieging things and stopped, you know, interacting with the world, everything went to hell. Everything was just awful. Really, really bad. We were losing castle after castle after castle, and I had to take all of those back, and it was not very good, suffice it to say. So we're just going to, you know, continue to be a little bit proactive as we go forward here, and I'm just going to try and make sure that we don't lose too many as we progress, because obviously the main key that I'm going to be going for here, the main goal that I have for the moment, wow, these are insane pieces of armor. Wow, look at that, 60-30? Wow, that's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. Okay, we might have to give that to someone. Anyway, point is, my main goal for the moment is to eliminate the vampires, obviously. That's a pretty obvious goal to have. And yes, as you can also see, I've made Ugluk and Bjorg vassals, because it feels to me like, you know, we're starting to expand. We've expanded pretty fast, and we are going to need additional vassals to help us out. And so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to give this to Bjorg here, because he's our most recent vassal, and he doesn't really have that many fiefs to his name. And there you go. Okay. Now, my next goal after that, as you can see right here, we have all of the vampires. They were basically about to attack me. I'm pretty sure they were about to attack me. And yeah, I was lucky enough to just get there just in time. Anyway, you can see here that Karak-Izor has been taken by the Night Goblins. I basically just allowed them to take that because they've been pretty annoying, actually, because every time I go there, they have either disappeared, or there's either way too many for me to actually be able to do anything. And so I generally either will let them take it and then just take it back, because usually they don't garrison it with that many, you know, that many units, and otherwise, you know, they're just kind of annoying. So I basically just left them to take that, because it is on the outskirts. It's quite far away from our main territory. You got to go all the way around the mountain range there, so it's a bit... yeah, it's a bit annoying, but I will take it back at some point in the future. Anyway, as you can see, they've also taken the other town, which is kind of bad. So I'm probably going to be taking that back. I mean, you can see here just how many vampire vassals are in the area, and for such a small territory space, it's pretty crazy how many they actually have. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to do here. Oh yeah, Kislev also took back that town too, so don't worry about those things. Usually that's kind of easy to take back. Oh, look at this. Apparently Lord Aketi and Lord Valans were both prisoners of various factions. Okay, I did not know that. That's kind of bad as well. Yes, okay, so there are obviously quite a few things going pretty badly here, but obviously that's just how it is, you know. There are complications. Not everything goes smoothly every single time you do something. So let's see if we can... Yeah, you know what? I think, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually just going to go into the nearby town, which now has a garrison of 134. It seems like someone is actually doing a good job garrisoning it. It seems like Lord Aketi is doing a good job garrisoning that, because from what I have seen so far, most of the garrisons stay with about 60 or so units in. So it's a really nice change to see that someone is actually deciding to do something about that. Well, chaos has been unleashed across this very small bit of land here, and everyone is just running around raiding every single village that they can get their hands on. And that's not very good for me, obviously. That's not very good, but I don't really mind, to be honest. As long as we can eliminate the vampires, that is the greatest thing that we can do. And then we can actually start to get a little bit of stability. Anyway, my second goal, which I think I did not actually mention before I was rudely interrupted. Yeah, I actually took this town just now as well, by the way. Unfortunately, yeah, they do tend to try and take it back. I think we probably need to get some kind of truce going with Kislev as soon as possible so that we can actually secure that particular town. But unfortunately, I have been sending off Nagrat, and no one, and I'm talking about no one, wants to get any kind of truce agreement with us, which is kind of weird. I don't exactly know why that is, but that's just how it is. Anyway, I thought I was actually building one of these, but apparently I wasn't. Okay, kind of strange. Anyway, we are going to be building the last siege tower castle here, and well, not the castle, but you know, the last siege equipment for this castle, and hopefully we will be able to do that. Oh, what's this? Demand 1,000 gold from you or you will be destroyed. Charge the slayers, I see. Do I really care? I don't know. I guess I'll just pay them. I don't really mind, to be honest. I mean, I have enough money to be able to do that, so I guess I don't really want to jeopardize my HP just before we do a siege here. And these two towns, they will be taken very, very quickly indeed, so we don't really need to worry about them anyway. And then the vampires should be eliminated. Oh, wow, okay. That's pretty crazy. Okay, so we are getting a massive amount of gold leaving our treasury, and you can see here that I actually had 86,000. The previous week's wages were actually not even that bad. Well, they were pretty bad, but not as bad as this. So we're gonna be in some trouble, I guess. But okay, another 9 hours it's going to take before we are able to head in here against... Oh, hello. Okay, that's gonna be a bit too long, isn't it? Way too many vampires right there. We will not be able to deal with them. That is unfortunate, and now we are suffering some morale difficulties. Yeah, we haven't had morale difficulties for a huge amount of time in Warsword Conquest, because we've always had good luck with, you know, winning battles and things like that, and I haven't really won too many battles recently, so I suppose we're going to have to do that. But anyway, as I was saying, my next goal, basically, is to eliminate the orcs. Or at the very least, to do as much damage as possible to the orcs that I can, because you can see here, this small little area of the orcs' territory is pretty much ripe for the taking, because we can easily take this castle over here, which I actually think we're going to take right now, because the vampires at the moment are being pretty stubborn, and I don't really want to, you know, fight every single one of them at once. I think that's probably not the best idea. So instead, we're going to do a little bit of damage to the orcs, I think. And we'll see how many they have here. I don't think they're going to have that many. No, there's only 100. And we'll see if we can do something there. I think this is going to be a pretty swift victory. And then once we've done that, we will be able to then maybe, just maybe, take Grom Peak. I think that would be kind of cool. Weirdly enough, I actually thought that Joseph was building a siege tower, but unfortunately he didn't do that in the previous castle area there. I don't exactly know why that happened, but okay. Don't really mind, I suppose, but yeah, oh my. This is... yeah. This is gonna go very well for us. You can quite clearly see that. That is just insane. I don't think they're gonna have... They can't do anything. There's just nothing they can do. Every single one of these guys is gonna get absolutely murdered by... well... everything that we have, basically. Our Globadiers, our Infernos, our Engineers. I only have 4 Infernos, by the way, so they are not going to be that effective, but I can imagine that if you had... well, I don't know. If you had about, what, 10, 15 of those guys, you're going to be in a fantastic position. Okay, so how many have we eliminated so far? 62. Look at that. 62? How long has it been since we entered this? 15 seconds or so? So yeah, that is pretty crazy. Anyway, we're just going to charge in right here. I don't think we really need to worry too much about anything else. I think we've eliminated most of their trolls, I think. I think so. It seems like they mostly have... they do have some high tiers. They do have some high tier units, and some of them have ward saves. Are you serious? Some of those guys have ward saves. That's pretty crazy. Ah, they do have a troll. They have one troll over here. But that is okay. Oh, am I going to fall off again? Yeah, I might actually fall off. I seem to have put myself into a rather precarious position. But that's okay. I don't really mind. As you can see, Slythe doesn't really take that much damage from falling anymore, so that's pretty good. And there's only 7 enemies remaining. And there's the victory versus the Orcs. You can see there, 100 enemies killed, and we did lose 2 Storm Vermin, but that's not really a big deal. Ah, Master Engineer, I see. Do I want to take him prisoner? You know what? I'm actually just going to let him go for the moment. He has -10. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll just let him do his own thing, I suppose. And do we have any people that we want to take here? Are there any Skaven units that I really want to take? It doesn't seem like it, really. But I guess I could take a Blood Knight. Those Blood Knights are really, really amazing. Oh, there's a Scryer Jezzail. I almost missed that. There is actually a Master Molder down there. I think that's actually the last one we can take, unfortunately. Yeah, it seems like it. Alright, well, I guess we can take a couple of these captured enemies as well. And anything about this? No, we're not going to take anything there. Alright, so I'm going to give this to Ugluk. And hopefully he'll be able to garrison that with some decent numbers. And then we're going to head on to Grom Peak, and we're actually going to see what's going on. Ah, look at that. Ugluk is now a prisoner of Nuln. Apparently he got attacked by some Empire vassals. It seems like I can't trust my vassals to do anything. It's really kind of sad. I suppose the main reason for that is because they are basically in prime time wartime. You know, they're kind of having to deal with insurmountable odds most of the time because they just don't have enough time to get a good enough army to be able to do anything. So I guess that's the primary reason, isn't it? Anyway, let's have a look here. I'm actually going to go and help these goblins. I'm going to help these goblins against the big boss guy. 114. And, yes, we'll see what we can do here. Do we have a... Ah, we do have a... Oh, yes, this is fantastic. This is a great, great place. Well, for the most part, we have just been holding position here on this mountain, hillside kind of thing for a little bit of time, and there we go. They have now shown themselves. They have a pretty large number of trolls, so I'm a bit worried about that, to be honest. So hopefully our engineers and everything will be able to do significant damage before they actually reach us, because if they do, then, well, things are not going to go very well. Anyway, I'm going to get out my gun here. I don't technically have magic equipped again. I think it's mainly because I feel like if I'm doing so many sieges once again, you know, then it is obviously, you know, kind of too much micromanaging for my liking, and most of our Warplock engineers should be able to deal with anything that, you know, actually comes across us, and otherwise... Just going to continue shooting these Black Immortals. Thank you very much. There we go. And maybe I'll be able to... Yeah, I should probably get this out a little bit and see what I can do here. Yeah, I actually do miss using magic, so I'm probably going to get that out if there's any other fighting to do. It seems like most of these trolls get eliminated pretty fast, so we don't even need to worry about that. 37 enemies. They're actually rushing in from the side. Interesting, interesting. Okay, I actually thought to myself that they might do that. So let's see if I can try and adapt to it. It's not really necessary to adapt to it, is it? I don't think so. I think we're absolutely fine. They seem to be coming in with some Bretonnians. That's kind of weird. I guess they rescued a couple of prisoners or something. Alright, so this is going to give us a pretty big challenge, I think, because as you can see, the bridge to get in there is extremely small, and so this is going to be kind of bad. Anyway, we'll see how we do here. This is Grom Peak, and, well, I don't know whether we're going to be okay. We'll see. Okay, so let me get my globes over here. Let's get the warp blocks behind them, and we'll put the infantry a little bit closer than that. I don't know whether everyone's going to get into their proper positions, but hopefully they will. Thankfully, the orcs are not that good at range. Hopefully, they are not going to bring out some super powerful unit that will prove me wrong, but yes, it feels to me like they're not exactly great at range, so I don't need to worry too much about their arrow bow users and everything. And personally, I feel like guns are pretty fantastic in the mod. I feel like, I don't know. I do know, though, that if you were to get this bow, I'm talking about the bow from Cyrus, I think Cyrus sells a really amazing bow, because I saw it when I was looking for various items for, you know, for Slive, and obviously he doesn't use a bow, he doesn't use any, you know, standard armor, he's a Skaven after all, so, you know, he's not technically going to have the same kind of requirements. But anyway, that bow has like 99 accuracy and 125 damage or something. Am I correct in that? Maybe it is. I can't really remember the stats offhand, but it was just insane. So yeah, if you're a bow user, definitely check that out. Definitely check that out, because I can imagine it's going to be pretty fun to use. Anyway, I have 17 infantry. Is this going to be enough to actually charge this? It might be enough. Let's actually just try it. I'm actually going to shoot this big guy. There we go. Anyone else? Anyone else want a piece of me? Seems like quite a few of them do. Yes, they certainly do. And let me see if I can maybe do some damage with my ball and chain. Yeah, there we go, there we go. Okay, yeah, now my Poisoned Wind Globadiers and my Warplock Engineers are actually doing some damage. They seem to actually be getting a couple of kills. That's nice. We seem to have kind of baited the orcs into moving forward and doing a little bit of extra attacking, which has in turn caused them to open themselves up for retaliation, so that's great. And they are getting swarmed. I think they're getting swarmed pretty effectively, but we are probably going to lose quite a few units doing this, because let's face it, orcs are usually very good at melee. And so they probably are going to be good at melee. Anyway, let me see if I can go around the side here. Yes. Yes. Okay. Oh, this is fantastic. I'm actually really surprised we're doing as well as we are, considering Warplock Engineers are not known for their melee, that's for sure. And that guy that just hit me for 26, he is known for his melee. Very good. Yes. Thankfully, I do have Ignore Pain, so obviously that does make things a little bit less painful. And I think if I do take another hit, I might just move back and try and use my gun a little bit more, because obviously getting some range is going to prevent me from taking damage, unless I get shot in the face, obviously. Are there any ranged units actually attempting to shoot me right now? Because I'm seeing arrows, you know, stream by my face, and I'm thinking to myself, oh yeah, I don't really want to look like Swiss cheese. Haha, yes. Don't really want to look like Swiss cheese right here. Thank you. Oh, it seems like we're doing okay though. A couple of Globadiers are being taken out now, but in comparison, the orcs are losing so many. They really are. I would actually imagine orcs to be a little bit more powerful than this, but maybe I just have two. I mean, I have only 2 Chaos Trolls in here, and they are not the only ones dealing damage. But maybe it's the combination of huge amounts of whatever, coupled with some big units, you know, in the mix there. We are losing a couple more now, though. Wow, huge amounts of trolls coming in. I can try and interrupt their attacks, but bear in mind that these trolls will only do blunt damage, as far as I'm aware, so obviously they are only going to knock unconscious, which is pretty fantastic for us. So the more units we lose to these trolls, the better, really, because that will then just mean that, you know, Katya will have to patch them up with her wound treatment skill, and then we will be in a great position to head back in. Now, the cool thing about this particular environment is that it's not standard, you know, it does give you much more space. I mean, look at all these corpses, this is pretty crazy. Anyway, it does give you a lot more space to get your ranged units spread out and doing some pretty meaningful damage. Instead of just randomly running around, you know, firing off a shot every minute or so, they're actually firing off shots almost all the time, because we get so much space in between the enemy's respawn and reinforcement and where we currently are. So obviously that is making a pretty big difference. And I actually got that kill on that troll there, very nice. That's the much needed experience. I've got to be careful here. I think one more hit from one of these Black Orc Immortals would probably absolutely murder me, so probably a good idea to be a bit cautious. And we might actually like to go around the side. This is probably going to spell my death, but I would like to try and see if I can maybe interrupt some of the arrows currently being fired off. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, what? Where's he going? He was like, I think I got a bit confused there. Terribly sorry, Slythe. I'll be back to murder you in a second. Oh, no, never mind. Never mind. Took him out. I was going for a headshot there, just in case. That was my last shot in the pistol, so needed to be, you know, making it count. But thankfully I did not need to. I am super surprised that we've been able to kill so many, though. Really am. I have no idea what's going on with that. But as I say, I suppose it is literally just because the orcs are not exactly great at ranged attacks, and even though they do have good melee units, if they don't have the support from the range, then it's probably going to result in this kind of victory for us. So yeah, that's pretty amazing. I did not expect that whatsoever. I thought, yeah, okay, let's try it out, you know? Let's try out and take one of the biggest towns that the orcs have under their control, and look at that. We actually took it. Now, here's the thing. If I have enough time, which I don't think I will, because usually after sieges they do tend to kick you out after a little bit of time automatically. Anyway, the defense here, I don't know how it's going to work. Did you see those two horns coming out, coming out from the bridge? I think a couple of people could go on there, but for the most part, I think it's going to be quite difficult to defend, because anyone that's got good infantry, and, well, basically every faction has pretty good infantry. I think, who has bad infantry, actually? Not entirely sure offhand. Maybe Araby, maybe Kislev, maybe something like that. But anyway, that is going to be hard to defend. Anyway, 362 were eliminated, and we lost 36 total, and most of those were Warblock Engineers and Poison Wind Globadiers, as I thought. Anyway, we now have to go in and eliminate the stubborn defenders in the streets. Oh, okay, well, this is not going to be good. I do have my gun, so this is... Oh, that's not good. Okay, Katja, it's all up to you. Yes, I thought that was bad. Ah, fantastic. Okay. Yeah, should not have got out my gun. That was the main problem right there. If I had not gotten out my gun, I would have been in a much better situation, but I thought that my companions would be able to at least block and parry a little bit, but no. They apparently let themselves down a little bit, and, well, I let myself down, because I probably should have taken more of a note of the situation, you know, before getting out my gun, because that does make me vulnerable quite a lot. So, oh well, never mind. It's only going to take 3 hours for us to get back in there, so that's not really a big deal. I have no idea how many units are actually in the garrison here. I'm going to take a quick look on the battle map and we'll see. 29. Yes, they only have 29, so this is generally just a straight up charge, and we will be able to eliminate the rest. And there is a victory. Now, at the very end, there was only 4 enemies remaining, and it appeared as though some of them were stuck in the geometry around the base, and so I had to just retreat and auto-resolve it for 4 kills, and they were killed pretty easily. So that is how we won the day. Oh yes, fantastic. Anyway, let's have a look and see what else we can take here. I'm actually kind of liking the Goblin War Chiefs, so I'm going to take a whole bunch of those. The Scalp Takers are also really, really good, so I'm going to take those too. I mean, I know there are a couple of other Dwarven units here, but personally, I don't really want to use Dwarven units ever in this series, so even if I were to take them, I don't really want to incorporate them into my army. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to leave them alone there, and we're going to head onward. There we go. All right, so let's have a look and actually see what's going on with our castles here. And I think I'm actually going to give this to Ugluk, because I actually just gave him a castle nearby, so why not? Let's just give him, give him another thing, and hopefully he's going to do a good job. I'm going to actually pilfer this and spread the spoils around, and then we're going to see, who's that? Ah, that fellow has 103, and this has 47, so it seems like I'm going to have to wait here for some time. This guy's probably going to attack here, and bear in mind that our vampire efforts are being dismantled. They are attempting to take all of these things back, but we will be defending them, and I will be taking back all the other things that they've taken, because no doubt they're not going to have too many units there. Anyway, that will be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.